Hi, it's Kris again. IFBB Pro. Before I really want to get into my message today, I want to really thank you guys for the last video that we did. It's got more than I could even imagine. I mean, the support and the people, all the messages and everything that I've gotten, inspiring as many people as I can like that. It was really, to me, it was a shock that I was able to get that type of really feedback. But I really want to thank you for that first one that I did. Before I get into it, some of you guys who haven't seen the first one, a little bit about my story really fast. Came down as a refugee from Cambodia, grew up around a killing field, had 3 surgery. First one is 2007 with a 10% chance to live, and they weren't sure if I was going to wake up. If I was, it was brain damage and paralysis. Second one and the third one is in 2010, and then the last one was last year in April, and this is the one that caused my spinal cord injury. So you go in one way, you're coming out with another way. You feel like you've been pretty much stopped in your track. But I remember from there going into the rehab center and just learning how to walk again. I mean, not even walking, just some transferring from the wheelchair to the toilet to the bed, the basic things we take for granted. And I see some of the people that's in the rehab with basically from the neck down, just they can't even move. They're getting fed. So when I saw them and I saw myself, I felt a little bit better. Is that saying, there's a man that has no shoes until I met a guy that has no feet, right? Well, that's how I was when I was at the rehab center. I just was really just shocked of the people that was in there. And I kind of just look at myself and say, you know what, maybe it's a blessing that I'm able to move my hand. Maybe it's a blessing that I'm able to talk. Maybe it's a blessing that I don't have brain damage, like some of these people are. So when you look at it from your standpoint of your life right now, where you're at, you have to look at life as a blessing. I left the hospital, came home, blessing that I had my parents and my mom to help and come over here and cook for me and clean for me. So thanks Mom, I love you for that. But today I want to a little bit talk about I call it a battle scar. We all have battle scar, and let me talk about what that means. Some of us, we've been hurt by our family. We've been hurt by our loved one, whether it be your parents, whether they just been really abusive with their words, or maybe you just gotten beat up in the past, or they just verbally just really just took you to a level where you just feel like you're just at your low. Maybe it could be your friends. Maybe you got burned by your friends and you just you're not willing to forgive them. Some people it's co-worker. Some people it could be your ex. Maybe your ex really hurt you really bad. Some of you, and I know it's a little touchy, maybe some of you have been molested and you haven't learned how to let that go, and you just don't know what to do about it. I mean, some of you guys, I know I talked to a friend of mine, Rick, Wyckoff. He basically he should be proud of his before and after picture, but because people are teasing him, because he went from over 420 pounds and dropped it down to 239, and he had all that loose skin, and people are making bad comments. You got to be able to let those things go. If you can't let those go, you're not going to ever be able to move on. I mean, when we talk about battle scar with 4 of my surgery, and I normally don't do this, but because I really want to hit home, my battle scar of all the surgery that I had will never ever go away. The only thing you can do is you can go ahead and just basically accept it and just realize, what, they're there. And so all the stuff that I just talked about, they're going to be there. It's always going to be on your mind. It's what you're going to do with it. How are you going to be able to take it to where you can go ahead and just move on? I mean, that's the biggest thing. So I'm going to show you my battle scar. Don't give me a hard time. I haven't shaved, so I'm a little hairy. But when you're talking about battle scar, I had 2 surgery where they cracked me right open, and one of them they had to connect me up here so I'm able to breathe again. And then basically the third one was a stent, but then the fourth one is the one that you know, really to me, I guess you can say I've been blessed to have abs all year round, and I guess I was born with abs, which I'm sorry for some of you guys, but you know, look at this battle scar. It's cut all the way across, you know, all the way in the back, through my rib cage, through my obliques, through my serratus. I mean, this right here is so deep that when I sit there and I look at myself in the mirror, it's painful. The reason why is when you go from competing and you know, you here's this perfection body that you've been working toward, and all of a sudden now you look in the mirror, and I know, you know, you don't even want to see yourself, because it's sad, it's painful, and it hurts, you know, and so all the hurt that you guys been through, you know, I might not be able to relate to your hurt, because everyone has a different hurt. But if we don't know how to let that go, we don't know how to just basically look at it as a battle scar, and it's going to be there, but you're going to have to be able to accept it. You're going to have to be able to look in that mirror and say, you know what, I accept it. You know, I get it. You know, I'll give you another battle scar that I went through when I was at the refugee camp in Cambodia. My stepdad, story's never been told, so I'm telling you guys for the first time. My stepdad had a radio box, and they came and stole it from him, a burglar. He ran out right after him, and all I heard was a couple shots. And everybody ran out looking for him, and I saw him pretty much on the floor dead. And I'll never forget that night, because it was that drizzle rain. So every single time when it would rain, I felt like I had to run inside and I had to hide. This went on all the way until I was 19 years old, until I was able to accept it. You know, so whatever battle scar you're going through, just know that, you know what, the faster you learn how to release that battle scar, and for me, I'm a believer, so, you know, I say, you know what, God, I've released it to you. Everything that's bad, everything that's happened to me, all the pain, all the suffering, I'm going to release it to you, because I want to be able to move on, and I want to receive, you know, all the happiness, all the joy. You know, I want to receive everything that's going to come my way, that I'm going to be, you know, really, really blessed to have, because I feel every blessing is a blessing because you decide to make it. You know, some people go, what do you mean? If you look at life as a blessing, everything always going to be a blessing. You know, so I look at my scar and I say, you know, it's a blessing. You want to know why? Because I can look at it now and say, you know what, I'm alive. And some people, you know, until you're able to let that go and understand, you know, you're not going to be able to move on. Just remember, you can't, you know, bring yourself down and then try to climb yourself up at the same time. You're going to have to let one go to be able to receive the other one, which is moving yourself up, you know, looking at, you know, your future, you know, looking at where you're going to go, look at what you want to be, look at your life, and basically, you know, you're going to go ahead and take care of that first step of just, you know, receiving what you want in your life. So take yourself to that level, and you know, what I would love to do out of this message is I just want to hit home with you and say, all the pain and all the suffering and everything you've gone through, release it. Let it go. Because there's so much more to life, and there's so much blessing that's on your way. But unless you can see that as a blessing, unless you can see that everything can be possible, you're going to make the impossible possible. You're going to be, hey, go ahead and look at yourself in that mirror. You know, I remember mentioning about the kitten and the lion. You're going to look at yourself and you're going to be furious. You're going to be that, you know, you're going to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm superior, I'm excellent. Because, you know, all of us have every greatness in you. But if you don't believe that you have greatness in you, you're not going to be great. Just remember that every single one of us have something different. You know, I think the best way to put it, look at Oprah. You know, she's got something greatness in her. You got, you know, Michael Jordan. You have Tiger Woods. You got, you know, Bill Gates. You have every single one of them. Their greatness, their different is their greatness. And you're different as your greatness. So I hope you got something out of this message. You know, I love you, and God bless. Thank you.